All right, testing. 1, 2, test, test, test. Welcome in to
Recording in
the
progress.
live stream, folks. We are live, and I'm getting ready to dial the deals that have been turned in to me. So you guys know who are here on the live webinar with me, every Wednesday at this time, we go live. We go live on Facebook and YouTube. And prior to my going live, Freedom Life and Real Estate Operating System members, by the way, online crew, forgive me. I know the camera color is off. Leo uses this camera for recording content, and I realize there's a setting that must be adjusted, and I am not a tech guy. So forgive me for the camera color being a little off for our online live stream. Every Wednesday, we go live at this time, and I dial deals. It's called the Deal Room. And I dial your deals live, and everybody gets to watch in. For my live stream crew, who's on with me now, we are hosting this week a online training. And so our online training is happening now as well. So I'm got two of these going at once, and I'm getting to hang out with twice as many beautiful people today. So thank you for being here. All right, we're gonna go see what leads have been submitted. Let's see if we have Kay Ireland in the house. Kay, is Kay in the house? Looks like I have a callback from a lead that you submitted, and this is in Evansville, Indiana. By the way, Brother Leo just texted me, and he left the studio a little bit ago, and he just texted me and said, just so you know, you have teriyaki chicken arriving. I'm not going to be back in time for lunch, so I Ubered you something. What a cool brother. Shout out to Leo. All right, Kay, your lead on boom, 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 boom. Let's see what lead called me. 930. This is on Lodge Avenue. Called me back this morning. So we're going to start off with the Lodge Avenue lead. This is someone who has a property on Lodge Avenue in Evansville, Indiana.
Hello.
Sandra, it's Andrew calling you back about your lodge house. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Awesome. Did I catch you at a good time? You got a quick second?
Yeah, quick second. Are you a realtor? I'm thinking you are.
I am not a realtor. I was actually interested in buying the property. You talked to my partner Kay, I believe.
Who was it?
My partner Kay was calling you about buying the house.
I can't remember that conversation. When was that?
All good. Like a week or so ago. No big deal. My understanding, you're looking to sell this house. You also had some others. Are you looking to sell the whole portfolio or just the one?
I'm not ready for the portfolio yet.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's gonna take some. I just gotta get mentally prepared for that.
Okay.
But I mean, it's gonna mean talking to our tenants. But the situation is what it is, and they just need to know where I stand on this. And when I get to that place, they're gonna have to know.
Yeah, it makes
All
sense.
good things have to come to an end, right?
That's so true. You don't mind me asking, what's moved you to decide to start parting with some of these?
I just want to gradually, make it happen sooner, I guess. I would like to relocate and get out of
Okay.
here.
Makes sense. You lived in Evansville all your life?
No. I grew up in Illinois, but I want to move to a small farm in Kentucky. I want to take the proceeds of everything I sell and apply it to a place there and live there. But I have
Wow.
empty lots that I need to develop also, so I need capital to get that going and get that done. And I got
Very
the first
cool.
ones ready to be started, so.
So you this is the craziest thing ever. I was raised in Belle Rive, Illinois, outside of Mount Vernon. I lived in Evansville for years. Now I live in Louisville, Kentucky.
Oh wow.
So
Well, you're a Kentucky man too. You know the benefits of Kentucky too.
I
It
do
took me a
know.
while to realize, but I wish that's where I'd always. I wish that's where I transplanted from instead of Evansville. Because I debated on going to Paducah, Kentucky. At the time when I made the decision, I was really torn whether to come to Paducah or move to Evansville, and I chose Evansville.
Mm,
And now over the years, I'm kind of wishing I'd stuck with Paducah.
makes sense. Where are your lots at that you're looking to develop?
Oh, they're here, real local. I mean,
Also,
just right
okay.
around, not far. 47713. I got. Let's see. I got one or two in 47714 zip code. I think it is.
Okay.
Yeah, Sycamore is for sure on one. It's a 1-4 lot.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So of course, I lived in Evansville for years, and that's where I built my portfolio. So I bought several hundred there over the years. But um, I would be interested in buying one or all for sure. If we could make the terms work. Let me ask you this: a lot of times when I'm buying, especially from someone looking to part over time, I'll do some short-term owner financing, pay a higher price, and then refi you out an agreed time. Is that something that you would be open to if we could agree on the terms?
Say that again and slower a little bit. What'd you say?
Yeah, buy either the one property or even multiple of them on owner financing. And I take over the tenants. I'm responsible. I add this to my portfolio, and then we just put a balloon payment in at an agreed time where I, either resell them or refinance you out, whichever happens first, and get you that capital to develop the lots. Unless you wanted to sell the lots too, which I'm open to. But would that be something you would entertain, giving me some owner finance terms?
Yeah, because I'm looking at a guy right now that's what he's offered, and I'll tell you what he offered me. He offered me 25,000 down and $10,000 for 5 months.
Oh wow, that's aggressive.
Or 5.5 months. It ends up being like $80,000.
Yeah. Okay. That's uh, more strong terms than I would be willing to do. I wouldn't be willing to, if I was going to do that, I would just write you a check.
Yeah, I'm just telling you what he said. We
Yeah.
haven't worked out a deal on it for sure. And he hasn't confirmed that. He just kind of threw it out there and asked me if I would be willing to take that. But he's yet to follow up because he's out of town and got a big job. He's the owner of a big company for computer and IT services, and so he's got his hands full. But he's got a mom and evidently a grandmother living here that he wants to put them together.
Oh, very cool.
Settings and put them together in a house.
Very cool. Okay. Well, let me ask you this: if we could work out the terms on it, and like I said, we'd be down to do one at a time. What would you be looking for?
But first of all, would you have something to put down on a package deal?
I would. Just the number has to work, of course. The more I put down, the more equity I want to get versus the less capital I put out, the more flexible I'm on price. So it's just about the return for me.
Yeah.
What would you be looking for? Like let's just say we did all 10, I have no idea what's the value. What would you be asking? What's the rents? Do you have all that handy?
Well, the rents, I rent out 7 of the 10 I own. One's a duplex, and it brings in about anywhere from 5,000 to just under 6,000 a month.
Okay. And that's for 7 of the 10. What about the other 3?
They're not producing.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
7. And do they need renovation or?
I'm sorry, what's that?
Do they need renovation or is that what you live in or something else?
They're livable. So, I would say they're livable, but they could use some, cosmetic upgrades, I guess you could say. Because
Yeah.
they've been maintained as far as the generalities go with furnace, roof, all that good stuff. That's major expenses you'd expect.
Yeah. Okay. Are they vacant or somebody living in them?
I use dual ownership or residence for 2 properties. I'm kind of in between the 2.
Okay.
And then my ex-boyfriend lives in the other one.
Okay. Got it.
There's so not, I guess you could call those owner occupied times 3 instead of just 1.
Okay. You're a generous ex-girlfriend.
I don't know. He's got some equity with me the proprietorship of the whole scheme of things. So I can't.
That makes sense.
I can't just close them out.
Of course. No, it makes perfect sense. Okay. So,
And he does help me when I'm in tight spots to come up with financial obligations that I'm not really able to cover, because it does cost a lot of money to keep properties up and maintain them. I mean, every penny I make goes back into my properties.
yeah. Well, and I'm glad to hear that, because that means you're taking care of them.
Or I should say my business, because I do buy and sell cars, and I did some investing in those. But that was usually, most of that money though was from inherited money I got from my mother. So
okay.
As far as the properties go, because it cost me, like last year. I mean, there was a year, like a year and a half, I guess, or so altogether. I ended up putting like 4 or 5 roofs on, like 2 or 3 garages, 2 or 3 houses, and then the furnace went out last year, air conditioner went out last year, so I was hit with like 2 furnaces to put in and 2 air conditioners to put in. That's a huge amount of money.
Yeah.
And plumbing seemed like there's always plumbing problems and basement issues with some pumps and all that kind of stuff.
Right. Well, let me ask you this. Do you have a price on the whole package of 10 that you would be entertaining if we worked out the terms?
Well, there's one I'd have to exclude.
Okay.
And he's got some say on one, but as time goes on, of course, that always, changes. So
yeah.
Steve was never wanting to sell 1320 Southeast Riverside Drive, and I was at a place where I didn't either. But as time goes on, but it'd have to be cleaned out. I got too much personal stuff in there I got to get out yet. I mean, it's not as much as it used to be, of course, but now it has to be cleaned out. And the other property being 1505 East Franklin, where I'm staying right now.
Yep.
It would be the easiest one to get ready and have available.
Well, let me ask you this, because I want to.
So I have 9, Andrew. I have 9 for the package. Kind of thing.
Would you mind? Because Kay and I are definitely interested. Would you mind to put together if you have that in a spreadsheet or just a simple email with the addresses, the price you would be looking for with each, and if you already have terms in mind, what the terms would be? But would you mind to send me all that info in an email, and then we maybe could talk a little later today or in the morning, which is better for you?
Probably tomorrow, because I got church tonight I got to prepare for. On Wednesday night at the Baptist church, and you always take potluck.
Oh, nice.
They love to eat.
Hell, what you cooking?
So you feel like if you go to church, you got to take something.
I understand.
Which church do I
go
to?
Yeah.
Heritage on Lodge Avenue down. It's Heritage Baptist Church down on Lodge. It's only, less than 5 minutes from the South Kentucky house.
That's perfect.
And the more I'm at the South Kentucky house, the more I appreciate the house that it is. My God, that house is amazing. It's got really tall ceilings. You can't even reach the doors. They're so tall.
Yeah.
Every door inside the house, bedroom, bathroom, whatever, they're really, really tall. The bathroom it's a little bit shorter because it's got a step up. But
welcome in everybody online. We're doing live seller calls right now, and our mic. We're running an event as well. So you're seeing a little behind the scenes here. And of course, we'll be back to mic'd in to this computer next Wednesday.
When you hear a noise in a chicken yard, that's kind of serious.
Uh-oh.
They don't make much noise as a rule. So you're like, something big fell down or something big happened.
Well, when and you don't have to be today, because I know you gotta get ready for church here in a little bit. But when could you get?
I think I'm gonna take deviled eggs or egg salad.
Oh, nice.
I have 20 chickens, and they lay about a dozen eggs a day.
Oh my God, you're rich. You're rich.
In the respect of God's eyes, yes, I'm rich in lots of ways when it comes to his creations. They're beautiful. I love his animals. I love that.
Well, cool. Well, when could you get us maybe a list of those 9 addresses and price that you would be thinking on each, and then you and Kay just hop on and have a chat and see if we can come to any terms that are win-wins, and if so, awesome. If not, maybe we buy part of them or whatever.
Yeah. I don't know. It could be today for sure because of church and stuff. But I mean, I do have a lot on my plate right now because I got involved in 2 scam things. One was crypto investment thing a guy sweet talked me into doing because I got to know him really well.
Oh no.
As a person, and he seemed like a Christian kind of guy, God-fearing Christian guy. But as it turns out, I'm getting more skeptical, getting more worried, and the funds have been retrieved. It's just I'm just going to be a nervous wreck until it comes through and it's really finalized.
If you
and it's
guys
for real.
can also
'Cause up until
hear,
that
can you
point,
hear
I
her okay?
just don't know anything can
Type it in the
happen,
chat.
and I'm scared. But it's supposed to happen tomorrow, and I'm hoping and praying after tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday. So, with things up in the air like that as they are, and another one that was a bad check a lady wrote, I took a chance on her and I shouldn't have, but the main part about it was the bank. It's one thing to deposit a check that you suspect that's not good, but you thought, okay, well, we'll put it to the test and we'll see if this lady's, true to her word and speaking, integrity and all this that goes along with business. But anyway, I did, and so it was like on a Saturday I deposited. It was $15,200, and as it turned out, it showed pending, which I was like, I thought right away it would throw it out if it was not a good check. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, do banks not have a knowledge or a way to know if a check is authentic or not? Anyway, it showed pending, and then it got to where it showed funds available. I was like, what? No, this can't be real. So then I called in to ask I called 2 different times, and both times I talked to someone, they assured me the funds were available. And I was like, no. The teller told me it took 10 days. So, and 7 to 10 days for a check to clear. And so my stupidity, I should have waited 10 days. I don't know if that would even prove anything by waiting, but based on what they told me, even after 3 or 4 days, because on Wednesday it showed funds available. And so she wanted me to wire back to her some sort of amount because it covered government fees for this thing that had to be paid first before the rest.
Poor lady. That's crazy.
Or in a check or whatever. And after them telling me that it was available, I went to go make a small transaction on my debit card through the bank, and it said declined. Let's see what it say. Let's see, insufficient funds.
Yep, not sufficient
And I
funds.
was like,
Been there.
oh my God, insufficient funds. There's no way. I've got plenty of money in that bank account, or I did. And turns out I was overdrafted for the amount of the check, and seems like more because what money I had in there was gone too.
I'm sorry to hear that. And yes,
Here's what they did though. They retrieved the funds. They found them, and I'm about ready to get them back.
Oh,
and,
wow.
And I told Fifth Third about it because they were all after me about the money, me paying it back and getting my account in good standing again, or blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Or they was going to come after me to pay it all back, and I said, well, I did more than you did. I said, you should go after the ones who wrote the bad check. After all, they are the criminals who did something bad against you because you paid them. It's nothing on me because I didn't pay anything.
Yeah.
I didn't charge anything to anybody because it was a matter of this check, and you're the bank. I mean, you're the ones who govern this, inside, outside, whether it's not good or if it is good or whatever. And you said it was good, and you shouldn't have. You should not have told me that.
Let me ask you this, and I'm sorry to hear that because I experienced the identical thing, but only it was on a house one time that I was sold to somebody, and it was $13,000 that bounced. That sucks. But let me ask you this: if we were to work out the details, do you already know what you would be looking for the 9, or would you need some time to start putting together that list and numbers?
I've seen some lists on Zillow, and the properties were comparable pretty much to mine as far as value, what they received in rent and all that good stuff. I couldn't believe the similarities and the comparables being so, because they collected the same in rent that I did on like 7 properties, and it was amazing. And then they had their set like for 7, not 9 or 10 like I've got, but just for the 7 rentals that they collected money on, which is my situation of the 7. Of course, that's 8 that I collect on because one's a duplex, of course. But at any rate, it was they had theirs priced at like $670,000, and that's on Zillow right now. There's a price package.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a price package together on a listing of a bunch of different addresses. One was Elliott, that I remember in my head, but I can't remember what block or whatever.
Yep.
Elliott was one of the ones, and it just a few around there, not too far from each other, like mine.
So if we could get you the 670 range, I'm not saying we could. Obviously, you don't have to get the addresses and run through. Like, is that a number that you have in mind of like, that'd be worth parting with these? Like, is that what's on your
Well,
mind?
I haven't really put the numbers together, but it sounds really close.
Okay.
I was looking, but I haven't really, put a comparable figure to what theirs was on average.
Sure.
Because when you took 7 into 67, 7, 8. I thought that was a little high though, because
Sounds high to me, but obviously depends on where they are. And
That's over 80,000 a piece. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
yeah,
So that kind of sounded high to me. I mean, if I was an investor looking to buy a package deal of properties, that would be higher than I'd want to pay.
yeah, for sure. Okay. Well, let me ask you this. I mean, if we can work out the numbers, do you have any idea? Like, let's just say it was 600 for round numbers. Like, if we worked out a deal, what kind of down payment would you be looking for?
Well, I can only say as much as you're able to put down, I guess. That's how I'd have to put it, and I would consider what you've got, but I
Yep.
don't know what your situation is as far as what you're able to do, but as much as you're able to put down, Andrew, of course.
Yeah, well, of course. So for me, it's about the return on investment. I mean, I can put down 500,000, but then I would want them for cheap cash, way below value. Versus if I'm going to buy them and use your financing to allow them to.
I mean, after all, they're
get in with
income
less, so.
producing, and they do pay for themselves.
Yeah.
What houses I've
So-
got over time has been paid for by the tenants most. But there's been a lot of ups and downs with the way too. I mean, I've had big claims, like $8,000 for one tenant, $5,000 on another. I mean, those are charge-offs that I'll never get back or nothing, because once you get a judgment in court, it don't matter. You'll never collect. But you know what's amazing to me? Credit card companies, it's unsecured debt, and they get every penny of what that you're due to them.
They're good at
I
what they
swear.
do. Let me ask you this:
I've never seen anything like it, and they hurt your credit if you don't pay.
if we was to agree on the numbers, like would something like 20 or 30,000 down be acceptable till we paid you off the remaining?
Well, it'd be something to consider.
Okay.
It'd be something to consider.
Okay.
I would like 50,000 down on 7 properties. That would be better, but
57.
that's the most you can do. That would be something I would consider, depending on what your payment would be a month.
Yeah.
After that, I guess.
What? So you collect between 5,000 and 6,000. Do you have a sheet of all the addresses with taxes and insurance and what they currently are, so we could do our numbers on them?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I just paid taxes in the spring, yeah, and they're not cheap. They're going up all the time, Andrew.
Yep.
We're
Every
fine
year.
on it, so. And I don't know, is every state like that? Illinois, I know, is high. Is Kentucky's high too? Like this?
Jefferson County's getting really tough. Yes. Yeah, it's tough.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Warwick County's better, but that's a whole nother discussion. But let me ask you this: so if
Did
we
you
was,
say Warwick County in Indiana?
yeah,
Really?
it's been better for us at least. Yes, we got quite a few over
Well,
there.
I mean, when you consider those towns around Newburgh, but right in Newburgh, it's bad. But
Yeah.
Chandler and Boonville, yeah, those are depressed areas.
Now, if we was to agree, let's just say for the sake of conversation, 20 or 30 down, we cover taxes and insurance. Do you know off the top of your head about how much tax and insurance are a year on the 9?
I'm not sure about the insurance. I'd have to look into that closer and add them all up. But let me see. Taxes run about but I'm counting the all 10. So in fairness, that would be difficult. I just got the taxes lowered at 1320 Southeast Riverside Drive. They were over $1,300 a year, but I did a comp on the next door neighbor. My God, my next door neighbor was only paying $300 or $400 a year, or less than $5 for sure. And they had a brand new 2-car garage, brand new roof, completely remodeled, and sitting right next door to me, and they were paying that less, and me paying $1,300. I was like, this something's wrong with this picture, because I don't even have it. And plus they have central air. I don't have central air. And I said, something's wrong with this picture. And I said, this ain't right. You need to recalculate this assessment. And they brought it down to I think it's like $600 a year, way less, about half or less.
That's good. So if we could, like, let's just say, for sake of a number, let's 600 a year. That's what,
Well, I
50 a
paid
month.
5,000 on all 10. So when you
Okay.
do an average, I guess you could do that.
So we're
10,
about, call it 450 a month.
5,000. So yeah, you're
Four
talking
fi- okay, so we're 450 a month on taxes. Insurance probably similar. 9. If we could
Well,
pay
I think you could figure taxes less on 7, because
450
5,000
a
on
month.
all 10.
Got it. Okay. We'll round it, maybe 425. We'll get those exacts before we come to a deal. Let's say it's 425. Just quick math for taxes for insurance 8. So if it's 800 for taxes and insurance, if we agreed on something in the 600 range, assuming we come to terms 20 or 30 down, what kind of monthly payment to you net? Of course, toilet breaks, that's on us, not you. Would something every single month in your pocket, what would you be looking for? What would be acceptable to you?
Well, that's the part that's difficult, see, because when I'm looking to put money up for builders to build a lot,
Yeah.
and all I have to bank on is a little bit of money down on some properties that I own, and just a little bit of money a month. I'm just going to bring in. I'm going to be short. I'm going to be delayed and not be able to move forward on the capital I need to produce homes and stuff.
Okay.
And get them built.
Well, let's do
You see where
this.
I'm at with that? You see where I'm at with that?
Yeah. So of course properties have
That's
to
why I
support
was wanting to
themselves.
cash out
But
of lodge, because at least I can make enough money out of lodge to put up my first house, because I've already got almost $30,000 of my own money in it.
so let's consider this. If, and I'm not saying we can or can't, but if we agreed on a price and we was willing to, I don't know, give you 50,000 up front, so you at least had that maybe cashed out of lodge or most of it, what kind of monthly payment then net to you would be acceptable?
Considering 7, you mean?
Considering 9.
Well, I'd have to consider 7 first, because I couldn't do anything without Steve's approval on the 2.
Okay,
the other 2.
so 7. So considering 7, yes. If we could put 50 down on
He'll
the
be
7.
back from Kansas this weekend, so we get to talk. We'll get a chance to talk about it then.
Okay.
But on 7, if I was to entertain an income a month off of them,
Yeah, no, and we'd be responsible for everything.
I would say no less than 3,000. But then that would be considering the term of how long it would be to get that paid off. I don't know.
Yeah, we would probably, knowing we're going to be paying eight or $900 a month in taxes and insurance, and we're responsible for maintenance and repairs. Probably would need that payment on the 7 for whatever period till we refi it and pay you off to be between.
He's talking about a balloon payment though at some point though.
Yeah,
right?
between 2 and 2,500. Would that be in the range of doable for you?
Depending on when the balloon is. How long did you say the balloon is out? How far out to the balloon?
We normally do like 10 years, but our objective is to refi you out much sooner. We just portfolio up, a few dozen, and then we'd refi it. So 10 years max.
So 10 years for that income, and then
And whatever's left, you
payment
get
at the
paid
end
off.
after 10 years.
Yeah. But 50 up front.
I'll think about it, but I'm not
Okay.
sure. I'm just not sure.
Okay. Well, we're flexible. I'm going to get with Kay. We're going to do some underwriting on these. After you send us the addresses, you have a pen handy, or you want me to text you my email to get those addresses?
Text me.
Okay. I'm going to text you. Actually, Kay, I'm going to have Kay text you as soon as we hang up. And Kay will text you the email to send those addresses to. Kay and I brainstorm, and then we'll get back in touch with you here after potluck, maybe tomorrow or the next day. Cool?
That sounds good. Thank you,
Okay.
Andrew.
So good talking to you. All right, you too. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
All right. So we're going to stop with one call today. I know we got more to make. No, actually, we'll do some more. But I'm going to do something. I'm going to give a quick insight. For those of you online, thank you for sticking with us. I know the audio is not as quality today for those of you on the live stream. For those of you who are here with us on the webinar, thank you for being here. And the objective there, I'm going to give you this behind the scenes view, this what goes through my mind is when you're talking about a portfolio like that, the reason I'm willing to stay on and go deeper, and if I wasn't live streaming this and had a bunch of people on, I would have went through all the addresses there on the phone, Kay, just so you know like what goes through my mind, was I want to get to the point of what she's trying to get. Notice in the conversation, what she wants is to get money to do the building that she's looking to do. And what it sounds like to me was 50,000 was her number. Now, imagine you agree to give someone 50,000 down on a 7-house portfolio and you make the math work on the rest. We've got to still nail down purchase price. We've got to get the addresses and see what they're worth. We still got to do the numbers. But here's where most people would lock up, right? If you're a new investor, you would lock up. My mind immediately goes, of course, number one, you can partner or private money the 50 in if you don't have it to write yourself. Or you can agree to structure it in such a way that allows you to resell one of them and pay her on the remaining 6. Pay her on the remaining 6 and sell one of her properties that she agrees, all up front, all in writing, all so she understands. But of course, we'll decide that after we get all of the rest of the details from them. If this is making sense, give me a yes in the chat, okay? So my mind immediately goes to, for Kay, can I negotiate this with Kay where we give her 50,000 by selling Sandra's one of the houses that she agrees to let us sell. We buy it, we close on everything, we sell one house, and actually my desire would be Kay gets a check straight away. And now is into these properties with 0 down, hopefully with 2, 3, 5, 10K in the pocket to get paid to buy these things, okay? My mind immediately goes to that underwriting. What I'm gonna do, I think, because I got several more to dial, and for my live streaming, I'm going to give a quick notes. For those of you who are in our webinar, I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to come back. I'm going to do some more live dials before we get to more automations. All right. So for everybody online, we do this every Wednesday. Normally it's just me and you. Every Wednesday at noon PST, 3 p.m. EST. And we do this for our students. We do this for our community. We do this for our mastermind. And we do this for our community. And these are leads. Kay is one of our incredible mastermind members. Shout out Kay Ireland for going on Facebook, finding a for sale by owner, sending it, submitting it, having a conversation with the seller and submitting this for live dials. All right. So for our online webinar audience, I am going to take 15 minutes right now for lunch. Make sure you have clicked the link in the chat to apply to become part of our coaching so you can also submit deals for our Wednesday live. And remember, you get emergency deal closers as well. For those of you who are on our online audience, today I am going to challenge you. Go take an action. If you need more leads, go get online, go to Facebook Marketplace, go find somewhere to get more leads and start talking to sellers. Conversations equals cash. Type it in the chat. Conversations equals cash. Conversations equals cash. So go have some conversations. Since we just had a long call about 7 properties for my live stream, that will be it for today. Go make some movement happen. I'll be back with a full episode next Wednesday, same place, same time. And by the way, let's give a chat in the webinar. If you are not signed up, you go to free.truca.com/Wednesday. Free.truca.com/Wednesday and sign up to get reminders every day. And if you're in one of our coaching training, submit deals for me to call with you. Okay? We will be back. I'll see you live audience. Wrap up the live stream.